broadcasting. And now I'll say that again. Welcome, everybody. So we have people already from different corners of the world. Some are staying up late, ready to put on their pajamas, but they've been kind enough to join the meeting. And for others, it's the middle of the day. And for some, maybe early. So whatever time it is, you're all welcome. Now, as usual, I always like to ask what people may want to discuss, because then I can respond to people's problems, issues, needs, and ideas. And I've also brought along some thoughts myself. So while I'm talking about things, maybe you'll think of something that you would like to talk about. So I will kick things off by saying that this summer I will be working with a couple of groups of Italian teenagers who have different degrees of dyslexia, and they come over to Norwich in the UK, where I live, every year. Slightly different group each year, to stay at a scout camp. So they camp for 2 weeks, and I come in and I teach them a couple of drama sessions. And the drama that I teach to them or practice with them, hello, Sarah, Jane, and Priyanka, is a little bit different from the kind of drama that I normally teach, because these activities are often outside on the field in the sun. And as you know, that's quite rare for the UK. So that's the first thing. Second thing is that these kids haven't chosen to do drama, but they've always enjoyed it. And I always choose games that I think they will have fun with. But I have to be careful because they don't have great English. But then I know that a lot of you teach students who don't have a lot of English as well. So I thought if I share an idea with you, maybe we can share other ideas as well. So anybody who runs activities for a summer camp, for example, then that's the most similar kind of activity, really. So as you know, I always like to read books for inspiration. And this month, my book is called No Props. And it's the book that I got a few years ago from Australia. I had to send off for it. And it's by somebody called Mark Collard, who runs a company called Playmeo. And the great thing about this book is that no props are necessary. And as you can see from the photos, most of the activities, if not all, take place outside. So it's an ideal book for me to look into, to remind myself of games that I may have forgotten and to learn some new ones. So those who have just joined us, I'm going to share with you a game. And if you have any ideas of things you'd like to talk about, then after that game, perhaps you could share those. So let me just have a quick check here of what I wanted to do. So yeah, here we go. So this is a game that you can play with students in a circle. And it goes like this. I'm going to draw something in the air and I'm going to say some words. And if anybody thinks they can do it correctly, then they're going to have a go. All right. So I'll do it first of all to show you how it goes. The man in the moon has 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. That's it. Anybody like to try? Josie, you need to turn your sound on if you're going to have a try.
Go on,
No,
then. No, I'm not sure actually. I can't think of anything. I'm a bit brain dead.
Okay, so the idea is you just have to copy what I did and see
Oh,
if you can get
copy.
it right.
Oh,
Yeah. So Georgina, I noticed that you've switched on your mic. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you if you can remember what I said and see if you can repeat it exactly.
The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
That's a very good try, but it wasn't correct.
really?
So I'm going to do it again, and let's see if somebody else can work out how to do it. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
What did he do different?
It's an observation game. Priyanka, do you want to try?
So the man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a smile.
No.
Well, nearly.
Is it and this is how it's going to go. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a smile.
That's nearly right. So I'm going to do it again. And the idea is you have to copy exactly what I do. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Jenny, would you like to have a go?
I'll try. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Nope. Sorry. Anybody else have an idea?
Are we talking about the reverse, like doing that?
No, it's nothing to do. So this
Oh.
game is not originally designed for Zoom. So I think we need to pretend that we're in the same room playing it.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter. I'll just let you know it doesn't matter which way round or whether it's that way or that way. Okay.
Is it this? Can I try it? Is it the man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth?
Yeah, you got it.
So is it one line, going one line, using one, not taking your finger off, basically?
So you're not allowed to ask any questions. You just have to you just have to try. So if you think you want to try again, Josie, you can do.
Okay, I didn't try at all yet.
Oh, sorry. I'm so used to you being so very helpful.
In, I know. All right. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Sorry.
No.
I'll do it again for you. I'll do it again.
I'm brain dead.
The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Shall I do it one more time and then maybe Martha can have a go and Svetlana?
Go on, guys. Try.
So here we go.
It's hard.
The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Can I try?
Yes.
The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Yes, perfect.
Wow.
Okay, this is a sort of game that could take an hour. So because we're not here to play games that take that long, Sarah Jane, could you put them out of their misery? And could you do it again for me?
Sure. The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
And now, Svetlana, could you do it again, please?
The man in the moon has two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
Have you guessed now, Priyanka? Have you guessed, Joseph? Yes, it's a little cough. So all you do is before you start, you just go. The man. So that it's a little trick, but you know, it's good for observation.
Naughty. Yeah, observation.
And it's the sort of thing that can drive a group mad.
Yes. What did I not do? What does it not do?
Yeah, exactly. So that's that game. It's a very, it's a very cheeky little game, really. But
Yes.
it's, I don't know if some of you will know the game Crossed, Uncrossed. Do you know that one?
Maybe.
So this is a party game that we used to play when I was a kid. And I'll just hold on because I'm just going to get a prop to show you.
Hi.
Hi.
My friend down there. We do workshops together.
All this while, I was thinking he has a bad throat. Poor him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he
Well,
needs some tea.
The trouble is that when I present, I often do cough, so people are used to it. I've got asthma, so it makes me cough a little bit. But so that was why I could get away with it. So for this game, you need a pair of scissors. They don't need to be great big ones like this, just any pair of scissors. And
Okay, I have to get
we
some,
can't really play it on Zoom, so I'm just going to tell you how the game works. What you do is you sit in a circle, and the first person passes the scissors to the person next to them, and they say, "I pass these scissors to you." Crossed. And the person takes them, and the game is called Crossed or Uncrossed. Okay. So the next person has a go, and they go, "I pass these scissors to you uncrossed." And I say, "No, not correct." Anyway, the idea is people are really thinking about the scissors, and they try lots of different ways of passing them round, and it's always wrong. And the simple answer, because you need to play this sitting on a chair, is that if your legs are crossed, then you should say crossed. If they're uncrossed, you say uncrossed. So if I was up here, I would say, "I pass these scissors to you crossed." And I might go like this, You try and confuse them and do something funny with the scissors. There you go. And then when it's your turn again, you say, "I pass these scissors to you uncrossed." Do you see what I mean? So it's another one of those party games, to be quite honest. And it's great if you like being cheeky to people and trying to catch them out. So that's one game. But I hadn't played, or two games now. The Man in the Moon has two eyes, a nose, and a smile. But I play all sorts of games with these kids. So I'm going to be playing things like Wink Murder. I'm going to be playing name games. I'm going to be playing clap across a circle, where you clap somebody and then you do that with names, or you do it with categories, for example. So each time you clap, you have to say a color, or you have to say an animal, for example. It's a good kind of language game. I'll also be doing things like freeze frames, very simple games. The Imaginarium game I'll be playing, and then perhaps put them into groups and ask them if they could make an Imaginarium, or freeze frame really, of one of their favorite movies. And then you can clap your hands for them to bring it to life. And it's really a kind of fun guessing game. So what I'm looking for this kind of workshop is lots of short, fun, active games that don't require a lot of language. So I don't know how useful those games are for people. I know that some of you work with secondary, some of you work with all ages. So who works with only secondary students here? Nobody. Okay. Who works with only primary students, anywhere between the ages of 5 and 12? Okay, quite a few of you. Oh, yeah, okay. So, and then I'm guessing that the others work with ages that encompass those groups. So, okay, good. All right, now I've waffled on for a bit and shared a couple of quick party games, which are fun in the right kind of circumstances. Did that give you a chance to think about anything that you've been working on that you would like to ask about or talk about? Maybe groups that you're working with, or even a production that you're working on that you need some help with? Any thoughts while I have a drink? Georgina?
I had a very successful game with children and the adults loved it. And there was a big mirror where I was working. And it was being angry and pretending to throw a chair, but you only got so far.
Oh,
And I did that for kind of expression and assertiveness skills, like
mhm,
de-stress.
mhm,
And that they didn't have to say anything in that
mm.
at all. It was all action, and it was building up to this kind of, and then you pick up the imaginary chair and you go towards the mirror and you're like, "Ugh,"
Yeah, and then you just
chuck it.
freeze before you throw it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What age were the students?
The children were sort of 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So I think I would have used more of you're gonna chuck a soft toy rather than a
Yeah.
chair.
Yeah.
But the adults were between, I'd say, 28 and 65. And they loved it.
What did they like about the game?
They loved all the build-up of,
Mm.
like I put them in a scenario, say if there's anything in your life, just use it, and somebody was really annoyed with someone at work who'd drawn them into a personnel meeting, and they felt that it was just ridiculous meeting about some sort of bureaucracy.
Mhm.
The main thing is they loved it because of stress relief. They found it
That's
very
brilliant.
stress relieving.
I love that idea. Yeah, because it's not only good for physical skills, but as you say, emotional needs as well. And it reminds me of I did some work in a couple of prisons, and when I went in to meet the group, I asked them what kind of activities they wanted to do, and some of them said, we'd like to do activities where we express deep emotion. And they explained and said, when we're in prison, we don't get a chance to show and share our emotions very often. So drama was, a great way for them to actually let off steam and express those emotions. And that game that you've described, I think, would have been really good for them. And after all, it's what drama's all about. It's about enabling us to express those emotions, and not just playing games. Anybody else got anything about emotions that they've used in drama?
I have one. Oh, sorry.
Sarah Jane, let's have you next.
Okay, thanks. I have one that I just was doing last week and they loved it. Just basically getting we're all sitting in a circle. Usually we sit on the ground, but I had them in chairs. And then I went around and I put magic dust onto their hand, and then they sprinkle it. So I said, okay, let's turn to the chair, sprinkle it on the chair, and then it's the magic chair. So basically it was just to do with expression. So when we sat down in the chair, for example, one, we were giggling and laughing. You get straight back when you get up. So I was the leader, obviously, and they followed me. It's back to neutral. Sit back down on the chair, back up, and you're neutral. Okay.
Yeah.
And then this was a couple of times. Thought it was great. And then I was like, okay, so sadness. So standing up, neutral, and then sitting back down. No words whatsoever. Yeah.
That's good for a large group, isn't it? Where, where they can all do it at once on the spot.
Mm.
You could even do it in the classroom if you wanted to. That's quite nice. And it also gives a beginning and end to the emotion.
Yeah.
You know, you sit down and then you stand up and it stops.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's nice. Did you do this? I just thought that you could develop that slightly by getting people to work in pairs, and
Okay.
one of them sits down and shows an emotion, and the other one has to try and guess it.
All right. Yeah, no, I
So you
like
could
that.
turn, or you could have one person coming out at a time. Oh, I'll tell you what you could do. You could have maybe 2 or 3 chairs at the front of the classroom or the studio. You could have some emotions written on cards,
Mm.
and 3 people come out, and you show them the card, and that's the emotion. So it might be jealousy. You could give them some hard ones, you know, after
Mhm.
they've done the easy ones. And then all 3 of them have to demonstrate the emotion, because I think it would be quite hard for one person to feel brave enough to show in front of the class. Some
Yeah.
people like that, but others would
Yeah.
feel too nervous. But that
I
would be
like.
a nice way of teaching about emotion words as well. I like
Yes.
that game.
That's great. Thanks.
Did was it Svetlana was going to say something? Was it you before?
Yeah, it was me, because when David was speaking about practice with prisoners, it just rang the bell for me, because I was part of the playback theater group once, and then I borrowed some of their technique and some of their like warming up exercises. And when I was working with my drama club already, we did something similar, like frozen frames. For
Mhm.
example, one of the children, it was mostly they were teenagers, right? Or sometimes younger children, but mostly teens. So one of them was like the leader, and he said an emotion, like any kind of emotion. And the other students had to make one step forward and express this emotion with their bodies, with their faces, and then another joined in, and then another joined in. So there were usually not more than 5 people in the group. So it was quite, a small group. And then, so what was it aimed at? So people would see how differently one and the same emotion could be expressed through the body, through the facial expression. And it actually made them think, so how one emotion could be really so differently looked at by
Yeah, that's
different.
nice.
Mhm.
You could also combine that with levels of emotion. So for example, you could ask the group to walk around the space, and you could call out an emotion and a number. So you could say sad 1.
Like a
And
degree
so
of.
they're just a little bit sad.
Mhm.
Happy 5. And so they're quite happy, but it's not amazing. Happy 10. Yeah. That's a great acting game. And it's similar to the concept which we could talk about of the 7 levels of tension. Do you know about that? So that's something a bit meatier, which we could talk about if you like, which was I think it partly derived from the work of Jacques Lecoq, who was a famous mime teacher and physical theatre teacher in Paris. And he, one of the things I never went to see him, but I've learned about it elsewhere. He encouraged actors to explore levels of tension, and they went from number 1 to number 7. And on my website, I can show you a page which has all the different levels of tension. And these are great for if you're working on a scene with actors, you can ask them to change their levels of tension. So, for example, it might be that a shopkeeper and a customer are having an argument in the scene, and you could say, okay, level 1. And so they're quite polite, and they're saying, you know, I just wondered if I could bring this back. Would you mind? So that could be the customer. They could have maybe a kind of level 1 level of tension. The shopkeeper could have a level 8, and no, level 8 only goes up to 7, a level 6, let's say, and they might reply and say, no, why, I'm sorry, I'm very busy today. I really don't want to help you. And yes, madam, can I help you? You know, so, or you could then reverse it, whereas the customer says, look, please, can you give me some, I want my money back. I'm fed up with this. It doesn't work. I know I've had it for a year, but I think you should give me my money back now. And the shopkeeper maybe has a level 2 and say, oh, well, yes, I see what you mean, but we do have, anyway, you get the idea. I'm not, I hope that kind of demonstrates a bit. What I'll do is I will share my screen with you and show you this page where I've got some really great examples of how this works. So let's go to my drama website, drama resource. Here we go. And I've got a nice video which is quite fun to watch to do with levels of tension. In fact, I've got a few. So let's find those. Right, here we go. Resources. That's not right. So basically, I've been doing up my website and making it look a bit nicer. So that's partly why I'm doing this, just to show off to you. Here we go, drama teaching tips. So here we go. I've got lots of different articles here relating to all different aspects of drama. And I think I'm looking for the number 7. There we are.
Looks great.
So 7 levels of tension. Let me just move this Zoom panel out of the way. There we go. So I was once teaching about this in a workshop, and I wrote these down on a sheet. And these are some names for the levels of tension. So exhausted is you're like a jellyfish. It's completely lacking in energy. You can't get up. You're probably lying on the floor. And the idea is with students, you actually talk them through these and get them to try them out. And when I've taught just the 7 levels of tension, it can take half an hour if you really explore it. So exhausted is just jellyfish, no energy. Number 2, laid back, is like, yeah, hi, should we go to the beach? I'm not sure. Well, maybe I'll just sit down here for a bit longer. Do you want to go to the... No, I don't want to go to the beach. So that's that kind of laid back Californian kind of level of tension. And neutral, you can get people to start walking around, and maybe they're just walking along the road. They don't have anything to worry them. They're not thinking about anything. They're not in a hurry. So it'd just be like that normal kind of walking along the road, no agenda, no kind of real emotions, and no story. And then we're going on to alert, and Mr. Bean, if you know that character, is quite a good idea for this. So he's, what's that? Oh, that's very interesting. Oh, let me just have a look here. Interesting. So that's alert. Is there a bomb? Suspense, level 5. Oh, what's going on? I've heard somebody said there's a bomb. Have you seen anything? What's that box over there? Is there something wrong here? So just a bit of suspense. I think there might be a bomb. Passionate. Oh my God, there's definitely a bomb. Quick, everybody, run. Okay. Opera is high drama. That's very passionate. And then level 7 is actually like, it's so tragic, it's so terrible that you can't move. You're petrified. Oh my God! Okay. So I'm just going to show you a little video here of a famous French actor called Jacques Tati. Have any of you heard of him? So he, in his movies, he doesn't speak. And this is a good level 4. He's alert and curious. Okay, that's it. So, but it's a very good example of, I think it's level 4. Let's have a look at that again. Yeah, level 4, alert, Mr. Bean, curious, that kind of thing. So there's a whole load of information on this webpage. If you go to my website, I will also post this into the chat. So here we go. Yeah, Monsieur Hulot is a character who's been in many French films back in probably the 50s, 60s kind of era, but they're really worth watching if you want to see how physical comedy can be done. Really good. So yeah, there's some great examples with students as well, and also with Trestle Theatre Company, exploring levels of tension through movement. So yeah, that's a very useful little web page. Another thing about levels of tension is that different, as I mentioned with the shopkeeper and the customer, different participants can have different levels of tension, and they can change. You know, you can go from a 4, that's really, oh my God, to a 5, you know, and oh, that's okay. Yeah, the kind of Larry David, do you know Larry David? Curb Your Enthusiasm. Meh, that kind of feeling. Yeah. Okay. So I think what we need to do is to do some work on this, because I've done loads of talking, and it would be great to put you into some breakout rooms together and give you a task to do. So I'm pretending that I've got a task in my head. I haven't. I'm trying to think of one right now. It could be to do with emotions, and oh yeah, let's do levels of tension. I think that's perfect. So without worrying about what the numbers actually were, because people make up their own names for the numbers anyway, what would be really good would be maybe to put you into 2s or 3s, and for you to, oh, Sarah Jane, you've got to pick up your kids. Okay. Thanks for coming and taking part. Great to see you, and hope to see you again. So in groups of 2 or 3, could you come up with a little situation? You could improvise it. It could be with words or without. And maybe what we'll do is each of you will have a different level of tension, and we will try and guess what it is. How does that sound for an exercise? Yeah. So we'll do that. Great. Any questions? It's pretty broad, so you won't be breaking any rules. You can do whatever you like. Josie, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to ask, could you write those names in there, number 1, 2, 3, 4, what you said? I mean, I remember the Californian, I remember Mr. Bean, but I don't remember the others very well. So
yeah, I'll put them in, but what I would say is don't get stuck on them, you know.
No, just so to get
but
an
I will
idea.
put them in as a guideline. Okay, I'm just gonna, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's make 3 rooms, and if anybody's gets stuck, you can ask me a question using the chat.
Oh.
And here we go. And I'll put the stuff in the chat message. So Georgina, Priyanka, and Svetlana. I think you're going to be first.
Okay.
So the rest of us could switch off our videos if we know how to do that. I can't remember. Oh no, yeah, yes, that's it. So that we concentrate on looking at you. And can I spotlight 3 people? I don't know if I can do that. Let's see. You're big.
Oh yeah.
Someone else is going to be big now. And then who's the third person? I've got to look for them. Who is it? What's their name?
I said that right.
Oh, sorry, I can't. Oh, got Georgina, Svetlana, Priyanka. Add spotlight. Oh, I didn't manage to do it properly. It said I can only have 2. So
Yeah, I was thinking we could only have 2.
yeah, so I'm going to remove the spotlights, and what we're going to do is just see everybody. I can't see anyone now. Oh, okay, that's better. So the 3 of you, we're just going to concentrate on you and watch your scene. Okay. When you're ready.
Okay, girls, what are you up to? Looking at your faces, I can see that you are thinking of something.
I just don't know what to wear.
I'm
Where
too
to
excited.
where? I'm sorry. Are you going somewhere?
Absolutely, we are.
You're not
Yeah.
remembered.
No, I don't. I
I
don't.
told you.
The,
When
s-
did you tell me?
the school disco,
Oh, yeah.
you
You told
paid.
me yesterday, right? You told me yesterday. How could I?
We are going. There's no discussion on, and we are going. We are going, and
Oh,
I know exactly
yeah.
what I'm going to wear. I don't know about her.
Well, but we haven't even talked about it. Did I say I agree to you going there? I never
There's
said
nothing not
yes.
to
Signed
agree.
the
You have to
permission
agree to it.
slip.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, girls. You know the rules, right? You have to be home by 9 o'clock. What time does your disco start?
9
I
is too
don't have to
early.
be home by 9 o'clock. I'm older.
No, same house, same rules. It
No,
cannot
no,
be.
no, no, no,
different.
no,
Sorry,
no,
no.
No.
Wow.
This happens.
No.
Why?
Who is the
I'm
one
coming.
for both of you? 9
I
o'clock. You
don't
have
even
to be
remember. Do
home.
we live in a democratic country?
You don't. You definitely do. But the
I'm
rules
coming.
are the rules.
I'm coming back with
She gets
David.
away with it just because she's what? 2 years older to me? Sorry.
Oh.
Yes,
Mom, but
she's older.
you always
Okay,
say I'm the
she's older and
responsible one, Mom.
I'm sorry.
You know that I will take care of everything. You know me, right? You know me. You met my teacher. Look at my grades.
Okay, that's brilliant. I'm going to stop you there because I think we've got a good idea of what's going
That's
on.
great.
And were you all different levels?
We
Were
were
you all
trying
different
to.
levels?
I tried being like,
Yeah. No, I thought you were. I'm just double checking. I've got an idea, but I'd like anybody else who was watching to have a guess if they want to.
It's quite hard to be specific with the levels, to be honest.
If you were going to put them in order of 1, 2, 3, what would you do? With 3
I'd say
being the
Georgina.
highest.
I'd say Georgina was the lowest,
Mm-hmm.
and then Svetlana, and then Priyanka. That's what I think, anyway.
I thought Georgina, then Priyanka, then Svetlana
Oh, okay.
being the highest. So maybe Georgina could have been like a 2 or a 3. Priyanka could have been a 4 and Svetlana could have been a 5. So now you can reveal to us the real answers.
Yeah. I was definitely passionate about the situation. So that was level between 5 and 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
And Priyanka?
I was also trying to be, persuasive and consistent and holding my ground, but not very aggressive. Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah. And Georgina?
Yeah, I was hiding a lot of tension and trying.
Yeah, she was like pissed off, but not showing it like,
Yeah,
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was gonna sort of build up. But I was
Yeah. I felt like you went from sort of like a 2 or a 3 to a 4 at least at one point. So I could, that's quite interesting that at first you were a little bit laid back and acting as though you didn't really care.
yeah, I'm
then-
trying to be the adult, but I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, that was good because even in that short scene, just having those different levels definitely gives the scene some dynamics. And if you think about if you had done that with kids, you'd probably have them all kind of at each other the whole time. So it could be a really good way to help kids to explore those dynamics.
You could tell them what level they are,
Yeah.
so then you would have the differences. You cannot be more than that. You can, that sort of thing. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
bit prescriptive, but
Yeah.
to start with, it's probably a good idea. And then maybe once they get it, you can then let them have a choice.
I mean, I agree. When I've taught this on workshop courses with adults, I've often taken an hour and a half to do it, because they need to explore each level first of all, just move around in that level,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
talk to each other.
Yeah, very
Um,
little.
And one, I will come on to the other groups, but while I think of it, one activity that I sometimes do is I put everybody in a lift. So I make a square on the floor and I tell them that they are going to get in the lift. On the ground floor, they're at level sort of 1 or 2. And as it goes up, their levels of tension are going to get higher. And then the lift will get stuck. And obviously they'll get to quite a high level of tension. Then it will start moving again and they have to come back down, So that kind of situation is really good. Josie and Jan, I think you could be next. How about that?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, there you are. Hi.
Hello, hi. Oh, how can I help?
What? How are you doing?
Oh, would you like anything for drink? Whiskey or beer?
I'll have some beer, Yeah. And sorry, whiskey.
Okay,
No whiskey, yeah.
okay, no problem. Okay. Oh,
Whoa, that's a bit much. All right, never mind.
have a
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
bye.
Cheers.
Want-
Cheers. Oh, that's good. That's good. Oinky whiskey. Yes. Makes me hungry though.
Like it? You like it?
I do.
Oh,
Makes me hungry. It makes me hungry.
no.
Yeah.
Look at me. I don't think I don't have any fat on my
nice and pink and round.
Oh, hang on. I'm gonna call my brother. My brother?
I ate him yesterday.
No way.
Yeah, I did.
Wait, I have another little brother. Let me call him.
Sorry, but I ate him the day before yesterday.
Oh, you must be kidding. You must be kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. And I'm going to eat you now.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. I think you've got a good story going on there.
Why are they running away? Sorry.
And I liked the animal characteristics. I think we had a big bad wolf and a pig. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And but I think that I'm gonna guess myself, just because we're a bit low on time. The wolf seemed to be like a 1 or a 2, and the pig seemed to be like a 3 or a 4,
Yeah.
or even higher, maybe. I think
Yes.
his level of tension went up when he heard about his brother being eaten.
Yes.
Is that right? What were you
Yes.
what were you aiming for?
Yes.
Is that about right?
I was a Californian wolf.
Yeah.
Yes. And I gave her some potion, so that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yes. I could
Yeah, I
see
got-
that she could have gone right down to a level 1 at the end if she drank more of the whiskey. That was great. So let's go over to, is it Jenny and Marta next? Yes. Fire away.
Ours is very, very short. It's two sentences, but we're
Brilliant. That's all we need for this moment in time.
1, 2, 3.
the spider climbed up
Went
the
up
roof.
the water spout. Down came,
Came the rain and
washed
washed
the
the spider out.
Okay, that's it. Right. Lovely. Well, let me just get my video back. There we go. Well, a clap to everybody for 3 very different scenes. Now, any guesses about the spiders? Any guesses about levels of tension for the spiders from anybody?
I think they started very low
Mm-hmm.
and then they rose up a bit.
Interesting. Yeah. They did seem to be of a similar level, I felt.
Yes.
Yes. And quite low, maybe a Californian 2.
Yeah.
2 to 4. Yeah, not even 4, 2 and 3.
2 and 3. So were you a 2 and a 3? Is that how it went?
No, we were 1 and 7.
1 and 7.
Were you? All right. So 7 was like could hardly move.
Right.
No, 1 was that we could hardly move. 7 was when the
Okay.
Flushed out.
when he
Yeah.
got flushed out.
So the idea was you both moved from 1 to 7. Is that right?
Yes.
Ah, okay, got
We
it.
didn't understand probably that we had to be in different levels. We chose
No,
2
listen,
levels.
Marta, it's great what you did because you've demonstrated the different uses now. So you can either use them within.
I told her because I use that with pre-K level. So I teach a nursery rhyme with different emotions too. So
yeah,
it's a whole class.
great.
Okay.
Well, I think it's definitely something that you could use with different age groups, as we've seen. There's a really nice video on the webpage, which maybe I could show you a tiny bit of. Let me just get back to Zoom. Oh, right, break. Right, share screen. Which maybe you could watch later, but this is really nice with a teacher going through the different levels with some students.
Okay, it's Friday morning. I'm here with my year 10 class. We've been discussing Jacques Lecoq's levels of tension. So I'm going to pass over now to my students. They're going to talk us through the 7 levels of tension. Here we go.
Number 1, exhausted. This is level 2, laid back, stone tippies. Peace.
Level 3, neutral.
This is alert level 4.
This is level 5. Suspense is the revolt. Instead of the revolt.
Number 6, passionate. I think there's a bomb.
Oh my god, right, stay calm.
Level 7, tragic. Grief.
So just to recap, the 7 levels of attention go from number 1, exhausted. To the other extreme, level 7, which is tragic energy.
Okay, there you go. That's quite a fun way of explaining it. And you can find that on my website as well. So there we are. We had a lot of fun today, I hope, and covered a few different subjects as usual. It's great to see so many regular clients or audience coming in and taking part, participants. Good, so good to see you. So thanks very much. And anybody like to say anything before we go? Jenny, you need to unmute. Yeah.
Just to say, I used story cubes really successfully in my last couple of workshops for the last day of term. The kids knew them already, so really engaged in them. And if you haven't seen them, they're like dices that you can buy, and then they have different pictures of different things on them, and you just the kids roll them and come up with a scene that helps them come up with different things. So yeah, that went down really well.
Yes, I've used those as well. I really like them.
Yeah, and I thought they might be useful for you, even though you're outside. I don't know whether you could come up with them beforehand.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, thanks for that.
So they have a picture of, and they can make a story out of the picture or something.
Yeah, so the dice itself has about 6 or 7 pictures on each dice, and then there's about 9 in the pack. So there's lots of different stories, different images that you can make stories from, and you don't have to use them all, obviously, you know. So if you have groups of 3, then you could give them 3 dice each. Do you know what I mean? So you could split up the deck of dice. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get them with different themes as well. So you can get some for teaching language, and you can get them for all sorts of needs. So look, this is what they look like. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah. So that's one example that you can get from the Flying Tiger shop. But there's all sorts that you can buy. Those are the traditional. There's story cubes, and there's one with heroes on, and ones with emotions, all sorts. So yeah, they're definitely worth.
Okay.
They're nice because they're random. You never know what's going to come up. And the original design of them was for telling a story. So you throw the dice, and then you can choose the order of them and just start telling a story quite randomly. And it's really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Jenny. And thanks to everybody else. I'm going to sign off now and see you in a month's time. So bye, everybody. Have a great month.
Bye.
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 See you soon.